Welcome to a brand new episode of CMB Bazaar Buzz here on the NDTV network. I am Cyrus Dabur and here's what we have on the show for you this week. The Renault Kwid gets a bit of a facelift. Honda's updated Africa Twin. And VW's new 1-litre engines driven. So let's begin straight with that lead story we have for you this week. It's the Renault Kwid, a very popular little hatchback in the Indian market and one of the few cars that really managed to take the fight to the Maruti Suzuki Alto. Now it's been around for a few years and it's got a bit of a midlife facelift, midlife update. Session's been driving it around. Here's what he thinks of it. When Renault launched the Kwid hatchback in 2015, it truly became a game-changing product for the French car maker in India. The company's monthly sales were at an all-time high for almost a year. But like all popular models, sales marginally declined since, with some smart upward blips whenever Renault launched the Kwid's several special edition models, from the Climber to the Marvel editions. And so after almost 3 years on the market, Renault India has finally given the Kwid its much-deserved update. Yes, this is the new 2018 Renault Kwid that you see here.
Though the car might not look vastly different from the older model, Renault has definitely made some considerable updates, and we are here to talk about them.
The Kwid retains its popular styling, but this top-end RXT variant gets the updated grille, which now comes with new chrome elements, adding a bit more premiumness to the car. But the rest of the bits like the headlamps, the front bumper and the fog lamps remain unchanged. From the side, the 2018 Kwid does look a bit fresh thanks to some minor updates. The car comes with silver ORVMs and matching silver wheel covers. However, Renault now also offers a new moonlight silver body color option, which alone gets a glossy black mirror set and black wheel colors to add a bit of contrast. Renault has also done away with the checkered flag decals, which came with the 1.0 lettering to signify the car's 1-litre engine. Instead, the car now comes with a simple Kwid branding on the side cladding, and the rear remains completely unchanged. The cabin, of course, has received some rightful share of updates on the 2018 model year. The Kwid continues to be the only car in the segment to get a touchscreen infotainment system, and now in addition to media and navigation functions, it also gets a rear parking camera.
In the back, the car comes with a 12-volt charging socket right below the C-pillar, similar to the one on the Duster. And in a boost to safety, the rear seat belts now comes with pre-tensioners and load limiters as standard. The top-of-the-line Climber edition also comes with a foldable center armrest.
The AMD system on the car is the same 5-speed unit as before, but unlike the pre-facelift, this now comes with a creep function as well. Renault is calling this the traffic assist function, which helps the vehicle crawl at a speed of about 5 to 6 kilometers in drive mode once you remove your foot from the brakes. Under the hood, the 2018 Renault Kwid AMT continues to come with a 1-litre engine with no change in power figures. You get 67 brake horsepower and 91 Nm of torque. Other mechanical bits also remain unchanged, and there is no real change in driving dynamics. Of course, you can still opt for the smaller 800cc engine variant, although that just comes with a manual option and no AMT. Priced between 2,66,000 rupees and 4,59,000 rupees, the tweaks just make it a bit more relevant and just in time for the festive season. Those small little updates will go a long way into making it a really popular car once again, because as I said before, sales were dropping just a tad bit from one midlife facelift now to another. But this time it's on 2 wheels and it's a bike which is a bit of a favorite amongst a lot of us automotive journalists. It's the Honda Africa Twin. Preetham has been messing about with it on a beach in Mumbai. Here's what he thinks of it. It promises to take you beyond the horizon and to places no other bike can take you. And those are the very qualities that make the Honda Africa Twin such an attractive motorcycle. There's the familiar large 21-inch front wheel, fat upside-down front fork, and the high ground clearance to take on the rough. But there are some important updates in the 2018 model.
The 2018 Africa Twin looks more or less similar to the outgoing model, but there are significant changes. For starters, there's throttle-by-wire system. Now it gets 4 riding modes. You get a urban mode, you get a tour mode, you get a gravel mode, and you get a customizable user mode as well. Of course, the display is all new as well. It's larger, vertically stacked, single-piece user. The earlier one had a 2-piece digital speedometer console. Then there's a traction control. The outgoing model had 3 levels of traction control, but this one has 7 different levels of traction control. ABS is switchable, so it's only switchable on the rear wheel.
On the move, the Africa Twin is familiar. The dual clutch transmission makes tackling the urban jungle easy because there is no need to shift gears. Slot it into D and you're good to go. Transmission senses your throttle inputs and speed and automatically puts the bike in the required gear. Of course, for more spirited riding, there's the S or Sport mode, which holds gears at higher revs. The suspension is on the softer side, but it is perfect to take on broken patches and the occasional speed breaker, and it is fully adjustable as well to suit individual preferences and riding terrain. And where the road ends, it's time to dial up those off-road credentials, and you can even choose the gears manually.
The engine on the new Africa Twin is the same 999cc parallel twin unit as the old one, but this one feels a little different. Of course, the output is the same, 87 bhp at 7,500 rpm, but this one makes marginally more torque, about 93 odd Newton meters at 6,000 rpm. Thanks to the throttle-by-wire, the earlier one had a cable actuated throttle, this one is electronic throttle-by-wire. The throttle response is crisper, smoother, so when you're crawling through traffic, this one feels a little more smoother than the outgoing model.
It may not be the most powerful in its class, but the way the Honda Africa Twin behaves on the road and off it is immediately likable. Priced at over 13 lakh rupees ex-showroom, it's not exactly affordable, but it does offer a unique experience with its automatic transmission and impressive off-road capability. With the updated electronics and rider aids, it's just a case of a good adventure bike getting even better. And it's more than enough reason to take a closer look, especially if you're in the market for a middleweight adventure bike.
Two little facelift, 2 little midlife updates for a car and a motorcycle. Now it's time to bring you another one, but this one is a little skin deep. Now VW has launched a new range of engines on the Ameo and the Polo. It's the update to the petrol engine that they already had. Ameo has all the details.
The Ameo was Volkswagen's first made in India for India model and propelled its sales here despite it being a late entrant to the subcompact sedan segment.
And in the 2 years of its existence, the Ameo already has had some special edition models and some small tweaks done here and there, action models as Volkswagen wants to call it. This one is a bit more special because it gets a new petrol engine, a 1 liter at that. Yes, the car is now fully made in India, even that engine inside is made in India, and we finally get our hands on the car and let you know how it is to drive.
The 1 liter engine on the Ameo is BS6 compliant, and the engine is also available in the Polo hatchback. So of course you want to know what it's to drive like, right?
So the engine might be downsized, but it's still a 3-cylinder engine, and that punches out 75 brake horsepower, which is the same as before. And there's 95 Newton meters of peak torque. That is 15 less than the one on the 1.2. Now the engine is supremely refined when you start it up, but once the revs build up, there is a bit of sound. I don't know if you can hear this, but just above 3,200 rpm, that sound creeps into the cabin, and it goes on till about 6,000 rpm. Not a strong mid-range as such, and you have to plan your overtakes way in advance, because this tries to play catch up. that's the engine at 6000 rpm. That's a lot of sound. It still needs that bit of refinement, probably a turbo. Maybe we might be thinking far in advance here, but yes, I think Volkswagen should try and bring in a turbo with a 1 liter. They already have one, don't they?
It's always been a good car to drive too, as the suspension helps in dismissing those potholes with ease. 3-cylinder engines are inherently fuel efficient, and according to Volkswagen, the Ameo 1 liter offers 19.44 kilometers to the liter, which is up by almost 2 kilometers per liter from the previous engine.
Now, the petrol is only available with a 5-speed automatic. Volkswagen has actually turned to the traditional way of gearboxes, because the reverse is now no more front and upward. Rather, it's the conventional right and backward. So that's a bit of change, but the shorter throws actually make it easier to drive even in stop-start traffic condition. However, it's that long travel of the clutch that really takes a toll on your left leg, and probably that would need some thinking over.
We got to drive the Highline Plus model, which comes with a center armrest up front, and it's a real pain when you're changing gears, because your elbow keeps hitting it every time you shift. The dual tone theme of the cabin makes it look spacious, and the seats are extremely comfortable. Then there's the touchscreen infotainment system, which now comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Mirror-link was always available on the Ameo. There's also a reverse camera and rain sensing wipers. What's missing from the package is navigation. On the safety front, the Ameo gets ABS and dual airbags as standard equipment. Finally, the price. The 1 liter version of the Ameo is priced at 5,62,000 rupees and tops out at 7,57,000 rupees. And the prices remain unchanged from before. The base variant of the petrol Ameo is more expensive than most of its competitors, but the top-end Highline Plus variant undercuts the Hyundai Accent by 7,000 rupees and even the Maruti Suzuki Dzire by almost 20,000 rupees. While the Ameo has the least power amongst the petrol subcompact sedans, but it does not have an adverse impact on drivability. And yes, there's no denying that the car is a good value proposition.